So, ladies and gentlemen, this interview is brought to you by Burn Up Coaching and the 21-Day Challenge. And if you're looking for that boost to get you back on track, to get out of a funk, to get out of feeling like you've been stuck or stopped or just overwhelmed by life, then the 21-Day Challenge gets you crystal clear on your purpose, on where you want to go, and we help you break that down into bite-sized steps so that you have a daily plan of action to tackle that head on, and daily accountability and check-ins, weekly deep dive calls to uncover the limiting beliefs and sabotage that's keeping you stuck or stop. So how you get into that is send me a message, chris@beyourgps.com, and just let me know you're interested in the 21-Day Challenge, and we'll see if it's a good fit for you, okay? So that's the 21-Day Challenge. Next up is the iTunes review of the week, and this week it's by... Let's see who it's by. I took a screenshot of it, and I believe it's Joanna Garzili. Joanna says, high energy and enthusiasm. Chris brings an upbeat vibe that is positively contagious. If you're feeling down or stuck, a few minutes of his show will get you in the necessary headspace to break through any troubles that weigh on you. So thanks so much, Joanna. If you want to give us a review, go to beyourgps.com/iTunes, and that'll take you to the iTunes store for Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self, or you can just search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self and find us on the podcast store and give us a review there. I think it's scrolled to the bottom. It says write a review. You can subscribe there as well and keep up to date with all the episodes of the show. Thanks in advance for doing that. I appreciate you, your feedback, and letting us know what you really love about the show and how we can grow, because there's always room for growth. Now, this next woman, she is an absolute powerhouse. So you're definitely going to want to come with like a pen, a paper, and ready to take notes, because she's going to share how you can truly step into your abundance, how you can truly step into your prosperity, your greatness, because Taylor is going to be bringing the heat. So get excited. She's super fiery, got tons of energy, and she's ready to transform your life. So stay all the way through, because you never know what one idea could really transform everything for you. Taylor Simpson is a leading expert in the self-development world. As a life and online business building coach for women who have been holding themselves back for way too long, allowing limiting beliefs and their perfectionism to keep them from creating the life and or online business they have been dreaming of. After personally struggling with social anxiety, debilitating insecurities, and a major lack mindset for the first half of her adult life, then spending the last 6 years completely flipping all of that, she is now obsessed with helping her community and clients tap into the power of their habitual thought patterns and rewire them through the subconscious, while also aligning with the law of attraction manifestations so they can begin calling in all the abundance they desire and deserve. As a motivational speaker, social media influencer, and the host of the 200,000 plus downloaded podcast, A Tailored Adventure to Happiness, she utilizes her platforms to bring awareness to the power we have within us once we get out of our own way, reprogram any unserving thought patterns, and step into our truth so we can gain clarity and take on our life's purpose fearlessly. When she isn't found pouring light into her community or our community here at Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self, you can probably find her out hiking with her pups, doing yoga, and playing the guitar. And she's here to rock the house with us today. Taylor, are you ready to do this?
Yes, so excited to be here, Chris. And just, I love jamming out with people who have a shit ton of energy. I don't know about a guess.
Yes, you are.
It's just so much fun
Yes.
to just do this. And I'm grateful to be here and grateful that you have me on today, Chris. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Taylor. Thank you. It's great to have you here. So let's dive right into the theme of the day, which is the power of asking. So Taylor, how has this concept, the power of asking, showed up for you in your life? What difference has it made for you?
Oh, I like that question. God, the power of asking is something that is somewhat new in my life for the past about 5 to 6 years. I never used to ask for anything. I was that, I got it. I'm fine. I can do it by myself. I don't need your help. I'll figure it out. And now I am obsessed with asking, because I realize when we all are on the same path of creating a life that we love, calling it abundance, if we just either ask humans or the universe to throw some good shit our way, it's going to. But we have to, kind of get out of our way to make that happen.
Totally. I love it. And I love how you said you became obsessed with asking, because really that's what it is. It's like these questions literally create our reality. They shape our life. Being willing to ask, and also the energy that goes along with the ask, right? Like I'm sure when you first started, you're like, well, I'm just like figuring out this muscle called asking. And now you're like, I command you to give me that, universe, like, in alignment, in total like harmony with it, but you're going to get it. You expect expect it. You're like, I ask for it and I know I'm receiving it because I keep
Yeah.
asking it. I keep focusing on it and feeling that feeling of receiving it.
Yeah, and then with proof starts to have like show up in your life from it, you're like,
Yes.
oh, this actually works. Let me ask some more. And then before you know it, everything you want starts
Yeah.
manifesting into your life because you asked with intention of
Mm.
knowing. I like to say capital K, knowing.
Yeah.
Versus like knowing question mark, just knowing that your
Mm.
request, if it's in alignment with you, is going to be given to
Mm.
you easily.
Wow. Wow. So powerful. So powerful, Taylor. Such a great start to this interview. You are on fire. So let's dive into who Taylor Simpson is. What do you stand for? What do your clients come to you for? I mentioned it in the intro, but just give us your own version.
Yeah, so I attract women who literally just can't seem to get out of their own way. They have made up maybe excuses on why they haven't started to build their own business, or excuses why they don't have enough money. They've really put themselves in this box, and they haven't really asked for help. So it's really the old me is who I'm attracting, which naturally happens a lot.
Right.
These women, they want to do big things. They envision themselves doing those big epic things, but it's their own limiting beliefs, their subconscious, old traumas, old stories, other people's limiting beliefs, other people's stories that are keeping them from doing it. They are literally in a box, just dying to get out. And so I help them get out. We dive into limiting beliefs. We figure what they are. We get deep real quick. I'm not a coach who's like, let's talk about small talk. How was your day? How are you feeling today? I'm like, how are you fucking feeling today?
Yeah.
And why are you at 8? Why are we not 2? Where's the 2? We get to the root cause, and there's crying, and there's happiness and abundance and blocks, and it's all things that just come with part of this game called life. And I'm here to be a coach to guide those women through this game called life and really just be their guide through their own path of enlightenment and really serving the world fearlessly, like shamelessly, fearlessly, all of the things gone.
Dang, such a powerhouse. Taylor, you're on fire, and I love how you're just out there to, especially the women who are like a couple steps behind where you are now. You know, you can relate to those people. You can serve those people so well because you went through those challenges and those same fears, those same blocks, those same doubts. So I know we're going to be diving into that throughout this interview, but especially let's go back on that journey and talk about some of those really big obstacles and challenges that you overcame. You said, you know, the last 6 years especially, you've stepped into that power. So let's go back to that, or even further, wherever you feel is the right place to start with our audience getting to know you and, you know, really why you show up the way that you do, why you are so passionate about helping these women. And let's dive into that journey.
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel like I've lived like 8 lifetimes. It's hysterical. And I'm probably much older than I look. I would like to say that because people probably are like, she's like 23. How old is she? This for 6 years? Much older than that. So I actually started my adult life. I got my undergrad and my master's in international development. So I was on the path of working for the government. I live in Washington, D.C., so I say that with a face because I'm in it. Yeah. So I did the thing, got the schooling, landed a job on Capitol Hill, hated that. And then I started working for the United Nations, which was overall my dream job. So I am a humanitarian at heart, not like hashtag humanitarian, like literally I grew up like our vacations were not vacations. We'd go to like random countries and like help the community. And then we'd have a few days of vacation. So it is ingrained in my DNA. So I worked for the United Nations World Food Program. And again, thought that was my dream job. That's what I was supposed to do. You know, the white picket fence. At this time, I got married, but doing all the things. Had the beautiful apartment, the great marriage, all the clothes, the best job. And I find myself inside a hot fucking mess.
Yeah.
Because throughout my entire life thus far, college was doing all the drugs, drinking all the alcohol, having tons of toxic relationships, because I kept seeking outside for validation, to buy things for validation, to, you know, just a shit show. I was like the captain of the Hot Mess Express. And so this led into my adulthood, like into my career. I was then addicted to shopping. I was buying clothes to make me feel better. And the more I kept going about my life for, this was 4 years in this by now, the more miserable I became. I started
Mm.
having panic attacks Sunday nights. Just the idea of going to work the week ahead.
Oh
I
my
was like
gosh.
nasty to those around me on Sundays because
Wow.
internally I was just like acting like a child. I was just begging for someone to comfort me and not make me go to school the next day.
Wow.
So I was living this over and over again. Not in a healthy marriage, and but in that moment, it was because I was so far from
Mm.
self-awareness,
Mm.
and so internal, and everything, it was everyone else's problem but mine.
Mhm.
So I was just so asleep and clueless to the fact that I was creating this reality and kept blaming everyone else. And so I came across the book, The Power of Now.
Mm.
Literally cannot remember how it came to my life, who gave it. The fact that I would even come across that book, I didn't know what self development was at the time, didn't know it was a thing.
Mhm.
I had barely heard of Tony Robbins. Like, that's how much in the dark I was.
Wow.
So I find the book 10 pages in, I'm like, what is this world? What? Like, now there's no future, there's no past. It's all now. Like, I have the ability right now to change my thought and change my life. Like, it was just
Damn.
mind blowing.
That's a powerful book. Did you find that like you got it like instantly? Like, did you have an
Yeah,
upbringing of like you were smart and like you always excelled in classes and you got things quickly, or like how was your first reaction or response to that book?
yeah. Oh my God, what a good question. I've never, that's like such a, I love that. So, it's funny, actually, immediately what comes to mind is that it just clicked. And I
Wow,
swear to God, it's because I've always been a very curious person.
that's
So
awesome.
I didn't get the straight A's, but I wasn't getting C's.
Mhm.
But when I get B's, I get curious on what went wrong
Mm.
or how I can improve the next time. So it's constantly always trying to become a quote better version, even though I didn't know what that was at the time.
Right, right.
I kept doing all the things, but I was always curious to what was hitting home. And so
Mhm.
when I read that book, I like just got like, imagine like a vacuum. I just got sucked in.
Right,
I
right.
kept finished the book within a few hours. I mean, just dedicated it.
Damn.
And then started going on, this is like why I'm at my 9 to 5. I started going on like Tumblrs. Back then it was like Tumblrs were the
Right,
thing. That's
right.
not date. And so going on Tumblrs and just looking at like universe pictures and nature and
Mm.
at my miserable 9 to 5. And so I was like, what am I doing here? And I was having
Wow,
like a major awakening. And
wow.
so I cut my cable. At that point, I start reading 2 books a week. I mean, I just dive in.
Wow.
And to this day, I still don't have cable and I read 2 books a week.
That's
It's
right.
just,
That's right.
yeah, yeah. And so it was just like what the call I needed. It just
Mm.
came so naturally. I didn't question it. I wasn't like Eckhart Tolle. I was just like, I'm in. I'm all in.
That's so
And just
epic.
like, fucking dove in.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the craziest feeling, and that game was just an absolute game shifter for me. So
Yeah.
I actually started. I joined a gym on January 1st. And create a fitness Instagram account just to share
Mm.
like my gym selfies, like not like professional whatsoever. It gained a lot of traction. People were like, "Oh, I love your outfits," and then my body started to change because I
Mm.
was like 90 frame pound, little body, and always
Mm.
athletic, but never like into lifting.
Right.
So my body started to change, and people asked for my guidance.
Wow.
So I make a blog, tailored to fitness, which was my first business. Make a blog and put workouts and recipes on there, and just start giving because people are asking.
Right.
And after a lot of giving and people asking for one-on-one help, 9 months after doing this, I was able to quit my 9 to 5 job. So I'm
Wow.
running this blog and Instagram on the side,
Wow.
and it got so much traction and people connecting with me. And I've always been very vulnerable before it was like cool to be vulnerable.
Mhm.
So it just came. So people were like, "Oh, you're like really honest and you get right to the point." And so I think that was what I attest a lot of my success at the start was because of that.
I would love to ask you because I know that we have a lot of entrepreneurs and influencers in our audience who are finding out like what's the balance between being vulnerable and being like real and not and like kind of like shooting yourself in the foot or having a pity party. How do you know like if it's effective for building a brand and it's like real and transparent versus just trying to get attention or doing it for an alternative motive kind of thing?
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. So it's first kind of feel it in your body. Like when you're about to share, if you're about to go on IG Live and you've got this vulnerable story, just tap in for a second and feel where it's at in your body. Is it coming from a place of like kind of like in your gut, like I'm doing this to maybe get attention? You know that feeling. It's kind of like a guilty feeling. That's why I say gut.
Yeah.
And you feel it. We've all been there. We've all been to hop on live and been like, oh, this is totally going to hit home for someone. Yes. And I'm so going to like share this story, and I know because it's going to hit home. Like you come at it from, we all do it.
Right.
Feel in your stomach. And then when you feel it coming from a place of, oh my God, like I really just literally want to share this story for my own healing. And maybe someone else's healing. You feel that in your heart. So really drop into what your body, your soul is telling you, and you'll know what place. And if one of your values is integrity, you might not go forward with it in your gut. Or if you're just like, fuck it, I don't give a shit, my body says, I'm still doing it. But really just tapping in and asking yourself, and your body will tell you very quickly if you're coming from a place of love or lack. Because if we're coming at vulnerability from a place of I want attention or I want to play victim, that's coming from a place of lack. I don't have enough love in my life. People don't love me. I need more love. But if we come at it from a place of I hope this feels good to me and feels good to someone else, that means love all around.
Powerful. Great distinction. Thank you for sharing that. So you discover this book, you discover, this coaching business, or was it coaching at first? They were asking for like, how do I get fit? And you just found yourself just start coaching them, getting on calls, say, well, I guess I should charge this amount for this call.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was like a shit show. It was fitness nutrition. I went and got my NASA certification just so I knew what the fuck I was doing.
Right.
Nutrition. And here's the funny thing. At this point, I know you mentioned in my bio, my insecurities and confidence. At this point, I was incredibly insecure. Totally. I actually went through my entire schooling, college and beyond, and in my 9 to 5 without having to give one presentation. And now I'm like, you can't get me to shut up. At this point, I'm still carrying around baggage from extreme social anxiety. Like I would have panic attacks standing in the line at the grocery store because it was like my turn. And I was like, oh my God, everyone's looking at me. That's how bad it was. Wow. So I knew at that point, fuck, people are looking at me. I need to figure out why I am such a hot mess inside. And so at that point, I really buckled down on confidence building and the root of confidence. Well, the twin of I'm a recovering perfectionist. So perfectionism, a lot of people who lack confidence overcompensate with perfectionism. The twin of perfectionism is really just insecurities. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm trying to be perfect, but on the inside I'm a hot, like insecure mess. What's the root cause of that? Oh, is my insecurities. So I dove deep into that. Did a lot of work with around like Brene Brown, soaked up all her stuff, and really moved through that on a really terrifyingly quick pace, just because I'm obsessed. I'm curious. I'm obsessed when I dive into something. And so I was able to get through that. And that kind of took another level of tailored fitness. It became a really big brand here in the Washington, D.C. area. I would host boot camp events and have DJs come and play music. And people were doing it all. I would do all the funds to a lost dog and cat, place around here. And so I quickly had to get through that fear of public speaking. And then that morphed over the past, 4 or 5 years into what it is now, because people were like, okay, I achieved my fitness goal. Why am I still fucking miserable on the inside? So like, I got you. I've been doing self-development now at this point for about 4 years at that point. Wow. I can help you with something at least. And so that morphed into the Confidence Academy, and just providing tools that people were just asking for more of. You ask and you shall receive, that sort of thing. So that's truly how it morphed in this. And throughout that, there was tons of challenges since gotten divorced and have moved. And so it's not all glitters and rainbows throughout that, but that's the kind of the evolution of the business that I am just gifted to be able to move through.
I love it. I love it. And I also hear you like in your journey, you kept going back to the power of now, like getting back into the present moment. Like what a foundational book to like start off with, a philosophy to like grab onto and keep with you throughout the journey. Cause, some people, when they find out that first, personal development book or philosophy, it really, that is one of the things that sets the tone for them on their journey. Like for me, it was Darren Hardy, The Compound Effect. So I had to, I got to like really see my decisions, how they make up like long term. And so that's really giving me a marathon type of mindset, so I can like really take life head on. And also, yeah, I know, right? So it's like, I can face head on life because I know that it's all unfolding perfectly. And then books like The Power of Now and stuff like that really add on to that philosophy. But I really love how you did that. So Paul McFarland, who's in the audience, he says, Taylor, since these days you can close your eyes, throw a rock, and hit a life coach, why you? What makes you uniquely valuable, different than every other life coach?
Oh, what a good question, because that's so fucking true.
Right?
It's about getting through the noise. So thanks for asking that question. So what makes me unique is my to the point. I don't bullshit around. I don't hold your hand. I hold it when it's needed, but not when it's actually needed.
Right.
And I help you see what your light is, or the client's light is, their own unique light. Because what I see happening with like other life coaches is that they kind of morph their person, their client, to what they are or what they want to be. And what makes me different is I get to the point, call you out for shit, and then show you what your actual light is, so you can start shining super fucking bright, literally just like I have, but in your own unique way.
I love it. So direct to the point. I feel it, like on our pre-interview call, it was like, boom, 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 boom. Okay, we're good to go. Like it happened so fast. It was awesome. It's just like, that's your energy. You nurture that in your environment around you for things to happen fast. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. And I just think too, building trust. The people that end up working with me, they just trust me because I am to the point.
Yeah.
I stand out above the noise the other coaches, because I don't fuck around. Like I'm like, hey guys, this is what you're probably sitting with today. I'm going to call you out on it, like on a live, and I'll get people DMing me and being like, how did you know that I needed to hear that?
Tapped in. I love that. So in terms of like the growth between the courses about confidence and to where you are now, what was one of the biggest shifts that you had to make, the biggest mindset shifts to have such great growth? Because like you have a podcast with over 200,000 downloads, your business is doing really, really well. Like what was that gap? What did you have to shift? Who did you have to become to make that happen?
Oh my gosh, yes. A really big shift happened not that long ago when I changed my handle on Instagram from fitness related to just my name. And that actually was a mind fuck in my business and myself, because I had to completely rebrand myself as just a fitness person to who I am now. And so really that was like the catalyst for me having to think, okay, this is the person I want to become. Let me change with my handle. I mean, that's small. So now it's constantly me aligning myself with that vision that I have, kind of like I talked about in the beginning. Is I knew, 2 years ago, I wanted to be a public speaker, a motivational speaker, write books, have courses in Confidence Academy on money mindset, all of that. I knew I wanted to become that. So I knew as I was making that shift from fitness to now what I do is to really choose something every single day, sometimes 3, sometimes 5, that the new version of me, current, like the future one, currently does. So I would see myself, okay, you want to be on the fucking stages, talking, doing your thing. What does she do in that moment? How does she eat? How does she show up? Does she get on lives even if she is in her pajamas? Probably, because she doesn't give a fuck.
Right.
And so I sure that throughout that transition of doing that, the mold over the past 2 years of really focusing on who that person I'm stepping into, what she's doing right now. And I swear to God, that's like damn near 95% of why I'm where I'm at so quickly is because I'm very intentional about bringing my best and then some to my community and myself every single day.
And what do you think is it that sets you apart doing that and having that commitment from other people, especially women, who say, but that's me too. I come with 110%. I come like, come on, I do these exercises. I do this mindset work. How come I'm not getting that? So what would you say to
Yeah.
those women?
Yeah, so I have the law of attraction and manifestation on my side in my back pocket all the time. So I am constantly crystals all over my body and all over the place
Yes.
that I set an intention with, and I let it know how I want to show up, and that right there, that is like that one, and then we got this big guy that I usually wear. This is my money magnet crystal.
Yeah.
So, so I have that. That is such a, so like the 95% I said I tested to that. The other 5% is actual laws that are working with me that I've tapped into. So I choose to command the universe to bring me everything I desire every single fucking day. Every day I'm saying, hey universe, like when I hold this, I command you to bring me an abundance of money today, because I know I'm going to show up and serve the world in a powerful way. Whatever you have, it's give and take. So sometimes it's like, your universe, give me money. It's like, okay, the universe would be like, why? Like, what's your why? What's your ask?
What's the exchange? What's the energetic exchange that's going on?
Yes, because we can't. Some people, I'm woo woo. I manifest shit. But they're focusing on what they're trying to
receiving.
get.
It's all like one direction. You gotta give too.
Yes, and so I tell the universe, like, hey, because this is why I command you to bring this to me, and I know it to be true. And so the fact that it's in, like, I'm notorious for getting front row parking spots.
Yes.
It drives my boyfriend nuts because he's like, he always goes against me. He's like, you're not gonna get it. It's not gonna be. I'm like, you don't know what's on my side.
I feel it. I feel this perfect spot. Just line up.
And especially when it's raining.
Yeah.
He's just like, every time he's like, you're good. I come around the corner. I'm just like, I know I'll get it. And so it backs out every single time. It's just amazing. And so and I manifest that with everything. And so that is what I have up on other people who are, woo and doing the work, is I know what I want to be true. And I command it to come into my life every single day. Mind, body, money, relationships, whatever that is.
So powerful. I love it, Taylor. So I know one thing we wanted to focus on is about the money. And especially when people are first starting off, there's a lot of stuff in the way. There's a lot of shit, a lot of beliefs, a lot of unserving programming and thoughts that they've accumulated, especially in their subconscious, which they probably have no idea about. So how do we even start dealing with that if we can't even like see it or touch it or taste it, or like we don't even know it's there most of the time? How do we start handling that so that we can really step into our abundance?
Yes, it's first going backwards. So before we can go forwards, money, manifestation, and mindset, it's like a rubber band. It's terrifying to move back. Sometimes people are like, I don't want to go into my childhood. But we have to. Like, we gotta just like, this is the one thing we have to. So the first thing I take people through, or recommend to people listening and watching, is just get out a piece of paper. I'm big with writing things out, and write down all of the things you were ever told about money growing up. Maybe even to this day, your mom still bugs you about budgeting. What were you told growing up? Were you told, only CEOs and, whatever can be millionaires, celebrities can be millionaires? Were you told money doesn't grow on trees? Were you told, don't spend more than you make? Were you told, what were all the things that you were told? And then write down the things that you're modeled. How did maybe they didn't tell you, but maybe you saw your mom cutting out coupons back in the 90s, like it was her job. Did you see, and that for me that's one of my personal money stories. Yeah. And the funny part is my parents had plenty of money, but they didn't want us to know. Thank God I did not know. We lived a very comfortable life, but they never talked about, like, this is how much I make. You can buy whatever you want. My mom cut coupons like she wasn't making the money she made.
Right.
So, but then what I realized as I was, a teenager, I was like, wait a minute, we have, look at this house. Clearly we have money. But then that fucked me up. So I'm like, well, she's cutting coupons. She's budgeting. What in the world? So that was a personal one that I had to work through. So writing down what was modeled to you. And then so really diving deep. Okay, so if this is my story, but then I see someone else who was really poor and not a CEO and a millionaire, then this story can't be true. So go through and question or get curious. about every single story you were told or that you were modeled, and ask yourself, is this 100% true? And if it's 90% true, it's still not 100. This still means it's not true. That means there's some sort of fuzzy limiting belief you have over top of that. So that's really the first step, is to pull yourself back and ask, what baggage am I carrying around that is not serving me anymore?
So what would stop people from effectively doing this exercise and really getting to the core of these beliefs? What blocks, what obstacles in just doing the exercise have you seen come up for your clients?
Yeah, so it is what it is. A lot of people don't want to dive back into their money stories.
Right.
One, because everything is what it is right now. I'm at my 9 to 5. This is my situation. I'm $100,000 in debt. So what's the fucking point? What's the point of going back and changing things if I can't change anything now? Well, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So really, that's the first thing. Number two is ego. People are like, I don't want to talk about money. That's uncomfortable. That's an icky thing to talk about money. I don't need anyone to know about my money struggles because, I'm perfect and everything's fine. So that's another big one, is that they think they don't need that extra guidance or that extra help. And then 3 is really just kind of blended with that. Number 2 is a taboo around even looking at your relationship with money in general. Because people they'd rather, those people, I've been there, who you don't want to look at your balance. Like at the bank, when I send a check, I spent years like this, where they're like, oh, do you want to know your balance? You're like, nope, don't want to know.
Don't tell me.
Don't tell me. I had my parents bail me out of overdraft way too many times. Lord have mercy. And so that really is the third one, is just the idea of wanting to even look into your money is so taboo, and that's not what we do. But money is just energy. It's just a piece of fucking paper that gets you from point A to point B. It's the gas in your car that gets you from home to work. That's all it is. So those 3 things are really what I see come up the most when people are wanting to, but are right at that line of not.
Yeah, and I love how you share those, especially like what money is. I think that's fundamental to understand too, is like when we celebrate money as our, partner, it can be just a thing, and we choose the relationship that we have with it. So if I want money to be like my partner, it's going to want to help me, and I'm going to want to help it. I'm going to want to respect it. I'm going to want to treat it well, and it's going to treat me well, versus I think a lot of people have those stories that, money causes negative things to happen. It causes divorce. It causes, poverty. It causes whatever else, like unhappiness. So it's like really getting to the source of those and saying, you know what, here's what my relationship is going to be with money. Money is my partner. It supports me. It helps me achieve all my dreams. It increases my influence, my impact, my choices. It allows me to make more choices. So I think rediscovering that narrative, and I'm sure we're going to get to that even more, but like that conversation with money is so powerful, and being aware with that, it's so important that we start in the past and take that inventory of, hey, what's deep in that subconscious mind that I may not have even recognized or realized, and let's start excavating. Let's start uncovering it. Let's have a non-judgmental, non-guilty, non-shameful look at it and just see, hey, what is there? What is in my present reality of the past, so to speak?
Yeah, absolutely. Because once we deal with what the root issue is, that's when we can move forward. And it really is 100% about rewriting your new story. Because every single day you can wake up and you can dye your hair brown and be a brunette. Like just like money, we can wake up and decide, you know what, today I actually want to step into being a billionaire. Screw the 6 figures.
Yes.
Like, we have that ability to rewrite our story every single minute if we so choose. So you're absolutely right.
Wow. I love it. I love it. So we get clear on these limiting beliefs. We start excavating them. We notice them, and then we question them. What is that 100% true? And that's a way to just release the power that they have over us, the control that they have over us when we question those. So nature abhors a vacuum. And I'm sure when you excavate all these negative beliefs, there's a space left. There's something like a fertile ground, so to speak, for our mind to be planted in new beliefs. So what would you say is the best way that we can start planting those new, more effective and empowering beliefs and conversations in our mind?
Yes, is rewind your subconscious.
Mm.
Is really so your subconscious is, imagine it like to say a RAM of your computer. It's the
Hmm.
RAM.
Hmm.
It holds the things you can quickly go and search for and pull up. Even if you made the document 10 years ago on your computer, you can pull that up as well.
Right.
So your subconscious holds all of your automatic thoughts, your habitual thoughts, especially if you go to, here's an example of money, if you go to your bill comes in for your electricity, is your automatic thought, oh my gosh, $50, this is ridiculous. Ugh, let me write this check now. Or is it, hell yeah, like I was able to keep my lights on this month. Like here's another month. Which one is it? That's your subconscious holds either or. It doesn't
Mm.
hold both. You're not like going back and forth when you open the bill. You know exactly what your results are.
Wow.
Really,
Wow.
it's tapping into your subconscious and
Mm.
choosing now moving forward that you labeled your old limiting beliefs, your old stories. You got curious to what if they're true or not, and they're all, let's just say they're all not true. Now it's your poor subconscious is like, well, I have all these automatic thoughts
Yeah.
around these old beliefs, and I'm replaying these stories in my head, these old movies, let's just say, in my head. Like, help, what do you want me to do? Your subconscious is a puppy dog. It
Mm.
will do everything it possibly can to please you without a doubt. But we have to command it on what we want it to start looking for or do. So that's where we have to wake up in the morning. And instead of thinking, oh my gosh, another day, I hate my 9 to 5, this is going to suck, I'm probably going to spill my coffee. It's waking up and thinking, I am so fucking abundant today. Look at this bed. Like, this bed is so comfortable. These sheets are so soft. And it
Mm.
sounds dramatic. It sounds over the top. But I can tell you, as my own testimonial with that, if you wake up with abundant thoughts, you will attract abundance throughout your day. You will get the front row parking spots. Just don't take mine. So you'll start focusing in those things because what you put out the moment you wake up,
Yeah.
you will receive. So it's choosing the morning. I am abundant. It's going while you're brushing your teeth. That I am so worthy of everything I want. That $1,000,000 I'm going to make this year, that is so mine because I am wealthy. I am abundant right now. I have all the money I need right now. So see how I'm not, oh my gosh, when I'm a billionaire, I'm going to be so happy. It's going to be amazing. It's, I know it's going to happen, but right now I'm just as happy because how not fun would it be if you had a goal of losing 30 pounds and the next morning the 30 pounds off? You'd be happy, but you'd still be like, well, that was like too easy, right? So that is to come,
Yeah.
but enjoy right now in the process. So going throughout
Mm.
your day, saying those affirmations, and here's some actual tangible examples that I know everyone will be able to relate to. When you're out at lunch and you go to pay your bill, don't be scanning through and be like, oh my gosh, did they overcharge me for that thing? That's $1 over. Obviously, if they put like 30 different new things in there, cross those off, but be excited to pay for your bill. Any bill you pay, be so grateful to pay for it. When you're leaving a tip, be like, oh my gosh, I am so grateful that I'm able to give abundance to someone else. Because just like them, they want to be abundant just like you. So the more excited you are to give abundance to the world through your bills, through your rent. When I pay rent every single month, I'm like, here's a shit ton of money. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, I love my apartment so much. I am so grateful that I have the money to be able to have an apartment. So it's constantly choosing to be jazzed. Like after you pay your groceries, be like, oh yeah, I got groceries. I got to pay them. Like have a party because the more you're like exaggerative with it, the more your subconscious is like, oh, she's real happy right now. Paying her bill. That's awesome. I'm going to make sure that she continues to have enough money to continue to be excited to pay bills. And if that's not woo-woo, that's science. Your subconscious holds those thoughts. And the more you are over dramatic and demanding your subconscious to think this certain way and telling it, it's going to look for situations and focus on thoughts that are abundant and call more of it into your life. But it really starts with being so over and now analyzing of your thoughts and choosing to improve pretty much the opposite of what you used to choose.
Yeah, I love it. I love this. Taylor, everything you said was so powerful. I want to go back to when you were talking about when you wake up in the morning, right? And you're saying these thoughts of, man, I'm so abundant in this bed, these sheets, it's so soft, it's so juicy. And I love how you mentioned at the end there about being exaggerated. That is so
Yeah.
important because when you are literally celebrating like it's the most happiest moment of your freaking life, like you will continue to get more of that. And a lot of people, I think they're going to be uncomfortable and compare themselves like, "Ooh, should I be doing this? Should I be feeling this good? It feels awkward. It feels fake. It doesn't feel normal. It doesn't feel quote unquote natural," or whatever we might say, but really stepping into that celebration because all we have is now. So why are you waiting for, like when you get married, when you're having your birthday, when you're traveling to another country, whatever it might be, to celebrate like your life depended on it, like it was the happiest moment of your life. Literally all we have is now, and who knows if we'll make it to those points. So let's treat that moment right now as the most powerful, precious, beautiful moment. And that literally looks like, oh my gosh, this pen, thank you so much. It channels my wisdom, it channels my creation, it literally creates my reality. Like we have that opportunity every single moment to be that way. And I think it's highly important as well to surround ourselves with people like Taylor, who just totally unleashes and doesn't give a fuck and is just so real and just unloads that, because that's who you are, because it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. It's like, that's who I know I get to be to step into my greatness, my greatest possible self. So I love how you're living that. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, and I used to be stifled for it. Actually, growing up, I am a full blown Leo, like sun and moon, all the signs Leo. So I just have a lot of energy. And growing up, it was always stifled. Especially as young girls. Oh my gosh, don't over talk, don't talk too much. And I'm a fast talker because I get excited.
Yes.
So people make fun of me for being a fast talker. I'm like, sorry, this is what you get. And so that used to be told that was such a bad thing, and to calm down and to, don't be so excited about your new. I would cry when I'd get Christmas gifts that I really wanted, like weeping. I have pictures of me. My cousin gave me the tie-dyed Beanie Baby, and I have pictures of me bawling my eyes out from this teddy bear. And that's to this day. Like if someone gives me like a handwritten note, I'm like, oh my god, this is just so amazing. And so, but I used to be stifled. So now I'm so passionate about helping people. They maybe too are stifled to be excited, and maybe it's embarrassing to get excited. But again, if you want so badly to step into that person you want to become, you gotta get out of your own way and not feel silly. Like I am that person in public that's like, yeah, I don't. It doesn't, but it used to. So just baby steps, but acknowledge where you want to go. And if your vision of your future you is powerful enough and strong enough, you will get to a place slowly but surely, easier said than done, where you'll be able to shine and get excited, but knowing that the more excited you are, the more enthusiastic, the universe will provide you more back. Because what you put out, you receive. And if you put out, oh, this doesn't feel right, this feels fake, the universe is going to say, hey, I'm going to give you some more feelings of fakeness. So it's fake as you make it, but with a confident curiosity of the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let me just fake it till I make it. But you don't have a reason or
a genuine, sincere desire to be in alignment. I think the question that I ask is what would it be like if, to act as if, if I was that person, how would it feel? I get that I'm not quite there yet. And, what would it be like if I am there now? Who am I being? How am I showing up? And it's just giving ourselves permission to step into that version of ourselves without being attached to, well, but I have this, this, and this. It's you got to let go. You got to release all that stuff. You got to release the past. You got to release who you've known yourself to be up till now and say, okay, I'm letting go of that and completely 100% stepping into this person, my greatest possible self. What is that like?
Yes. Amen. Preach. Exactly that. It's that easy. It's really that simple.
Yeah.
It's really that simple, but yet that hard, because we have so much. It's just, every day, some of the thoughts that come in my head, I'm just like, really? You think that? No matter where you're at in life, you're constantly battling your old limiting beliefs, but are you up for the challenge of accepting them or moving through them?
That's right. Moving through them. And then the analogy that comes to my mind is the water pump. Like a lot of people, you have to spend a lot of time in the very beginning getting the water to come up to the top of the pump. So it even just becomes a trickle. But after more and more and more, you have the momentum. And I think that's really what happens as well when we start reprogramming our subconscious mind. We like step into that abundance. And of course, for everywhere we get to, there's always another like ceiling. There's always something else
Oh
that like stands in our way. But we become more accustomed and more used to like getting uncomfortable and doing new things and being curious and looking at it from different angles and perspectives to be able to break through so that we can do that more easily. So wherever people are at in your journey, just really have faith that you just take one step at a time. You keep asking for help, you keep committed on the daily practice, you track your results, you find out, did I do it, 2 times this week, 5 times, 7 times, how many times did I want to do it? Set the bar and keep setting the bar, keep going for it, even if you get knocked off the track.
Yep, absolutely. You just gotta keep it. Just again, when we realize that life is just a game and have fun with it and not take it seriously, it's just so much better. It really is.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love it. So as far as like once we get these beliefs in place, how do we start really showing up around the people around us with an abundance mindset and a wealth mindset? Because I think when we're on our own, it's easy to be affirming, it's easy to be outgoing and expressive. But when we get around other people, I think there's a lot of community mindset and beliefs that tend to bring us right back to where we used to be very quickly. And I know you said like you're at this point where you don't give a fuck what people think. And I'm sure it wasn't always that way for you. So how did you really develop that confidence, and especially around the mindset beliefs, the money beliefs when you're with other people?
Yep, absolutely. Because when we do the shift, yes, there's that core group of people who the old us was related to, because the what is it? The 5 people you surround yourself with determines who you are.
Yes.
And now what's going to happen if you change your money belief? You're going to realize, oh crap, everyone around me pretty much has my own money belief, and there might be one person with a little bit of a difference. So first is taking inventory of your friends and your family and writing down, like it's going to be tedious, but writing down what their belief is around money. And we all know, like, you don't even need to talk about it. You can usually tell someone's belief. Are they like super budgety to the penny, or are they spending frivolously, pushing money away? So what is it? Are they shopping addict? So writing down what their limiting beliefs are. So that way, when you do see them, so you don't want to just be like, peace out, friends, I'm like actually empowering myself and money.
We're done.
Yeah, we're done. Like you lack mindseted person. Don't do that. there's a nice way to like create new boundaries, but first you have to be aware of what theirs are. And so when you do hang out with them, when they do start to talk and their mindset lack or even negative or talking about people, it doesn't really need to have to be around money. Any lack talk about anything is still energy, which relates to money, because money is equal to every other energy. So when you hear them talking like that, the old you, remember, you're reframing your subconscious, so your old thoughts are going to pop up immediately. You're going to want to say, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe the gas prices rose 2 cents again." Oh my god, like it. That's what you're gonna, because you want to please people, and everyone wants to agree with everyone, but that's not going to get you anywhere with improving your relationship with money or anything else. So when they do say that, just kind of like nod and smile. We don't have to respond. People, we think we have to, like, I know I used to be like, oh my gosh, I had to respond to that, even though that was really awkward. So we don't have to respond. So choose a smile and nod, and change the conversation. Go maybe talk about abundance that you have in your life. Maybe you could say, oh my gosh, my hairstylist, I gave her a really good tip because she just did a great job last week. Would you like her number? Just change the conversation, but make sure you bring abundance into it, because how we show up and how we behave and talk will inspire them. It's not being like, hey, sit down, I want to talk to you about my new money mindset, I need you to come on board. It's really just being intentional, talking to them like you would talk to your new self in a new way. And over time, hopefully the goal is to get them to kind of see your changes, hear your changes, and join you in their own way. And if they don't, that's that point. And if they constantly are super negative Nancy, and you can't step in your new self, like it's hard. I've been there. You have to get to a point where okay, let me redraw some boundaries? Is it versus having lunch with them every day, maybe once a week and maybe once a month? Because in the end, it's all about you and your feelings and your life.
Totally.
And have to make sure that we recreate, not just remove boundaries from people. And then the most important is to start surrounding yourself with people that have the mindset of where you want to go. Even if they're just Instagram friends, if you see someone fucking killing it on IG, like traveling the world, doing their thing, send them a DM and be like, hey, want to be friends? I love your shit. Like I have made so many friends just by sending like a video message, like, I love your shit. Want to be friends? And we're like on Zoom having conversations. So you have to choose, and don't feel like you don't deserve to be friends with people that are at a higher level. They too were once in your shoes and are actually in your shoes on their level under someone else. So as long as we are constantly seeking out people where we want to be, adding them into our lives, as some people we create boundaries with, our new belief systems will start to be so much easier, because when you go out to dinner with them, no one talks about like, oh my gosh, you owe this. It's just, everything takes care of itself. And that's the new person you're stepping into. And it'll become so habitual that way.
For the people who are like, okay, Taylor, I see you. I love what you're doing. I want to be friends with you. And I'm committed to even having an abundance mindset even more, right? Like I want even more. But I feel like that might get in the way from us being complete friends and, like being able to show up powerfully. And like, I don't know if I'm ready yet. What would you say to those women?
They're ready to just step up and just start changing their relationship.
Yeah.
And so it's worry about yourself. Worry about where you want to be and not how I'm going to respond or how I'm going to think, and just truly focus on you. And that alone, for me personally, is super inspiring. When someone owns up and it's like, hey, this is where I'm at, this is how I feel, I'm like, yeah. So, it's some people that'll be different for other, but for me personally, I love getting people to open up and be honest. Honesty is the best policy. And so the more honest they are, the more as a coach and as a guide, I can help them. And I'm like the most like hashtag judgment free person in the world, because ain't nothing phases me. So that's why I'm so passionate about helping people get over that hump. Because there's no need to fear what people are going to think about your money mindset. There's no need. We all have some sort of issue with money, but we have to just kind of rip that Band-Aid off and worry about ourselves and do the thing anyways.
Makes sense. So that's about the money mindset. What would you say about someone who's building their brand and their influence to reach out to higher level, like more influential people? Like, what does it really take to be effective at connecting in those relationships?
Yeah, a same fucking thing. So Roy Harder is actually one of my mentors, and it's because I DM'd her on Instagram. We've met in person. Her husband is now, becoming somewhat a mentor to my boyfriend. And so it's because I DM'd her. And she has just been such a light in my life. And same with other people. Like the other people I've had on my podcast, I'm now friends with, like Kristen Hassler. Her and I were like, it's just, and I DM'd her. So you have to just, no one is different. Everyone shits. Everyone has bad days. Everyone overeats on Ben and Jerry's. When we realize that we're all human. And if you want to be to where that person is, like I want to be where Lori Harder is, and I'm in the process of that in my own unique way, I knew I had to reach out to her and be like, help. Wasn't that, don't just say help. But reach out to her. And the worst that could happen is they don't respond. They're not gonna be like, I'm not gonna help you. What in the world? You just won't respond. And that means that's not your person. That means that there's someone better out there for you to level yourself up with. But it's same thing. DMing them. I mean, DM 30 people a day. I mean, just one of them will respond.
Yeah. I love it, Taylor. So powerful. So we're beginning to wrap up now, and we want to know, what are the final pieces of wisdom you want our audience to really get and take action on because of this interview?
I love that. Really take action on the things that you need to work on to create the epic life you want to live. If you know you want to create this life where you can travel the world, not have to worry about saving up points, just be able to do it, not have to worry about taking off work, you can just do it. What do you have to do right now to take action towards that? Do you have to invest in yourself? Do you have to turn off the TV? What is it you need to do now to get to where you want to go and make that happen, because you are so worthy of creating that life that you want to live?
Yeah, and especially those parts where we don't want to go, we don't want to look at it. Like takes more courage, it takes more, perseverance and persistence in especially the areas that we've been resigned about. We've like, man, I feel like I've already tried to do my money beliefs. I've already tried to do my relationship beliefs. I've already tried to do my, deservingness or whatever beliefs. Like, God, I just feel like I don't make any progress. Good. That's a great place to start. At least you recognize it. Now let's get rid of that belief and start freaking taking action.
Oh, yeah. And it's so funny because I've been kind of giving hints around and with my community about the money mindset masterclass. And so I called people out yesterday, the other day, I forget what it was. And so many people DM me and were like, fuck. I was like, here's the funny part, guys. This money mindset masterclass is going to cost money to join. But, so are you? I was like, it'll be funny to see the people who don't join and where their life is in a year. I bet it doesn't change. So I was like, use this just by signing up for the masterclass. It's like, use this as a challenge to your current belief system. Like, even if you don't get shit out of it, like at least you did something to go towards dissolving that belief. And you can relate that to anything. If you want to lose weight, if you want to start a business, like, okay, shit. So what's blocking you right now? Is that the thing that's going to continue to block me a year from now?
Man, don't let it happen, people. And Taylor, you have some amazing ideas on how people can not let that happen. So how do they take that next step with you? How can they stay connected on your journey and really break through their bullshit, break through their money blocks, break through their confidence blocks, and really achieve the life that they desire? How can they do that with you, Taylor?
Yeah, well, first come say hi over on IG. I am I am Taylor Simpson. DM me over there. I'll send you back a video probably because I love connection. Yes. So come say hi over there. Let me know, what you're sitting with. I'm, on like just open and honest. So come like I hate money and I repel it, or I am miserable at my job. Help. Whatever it is, just brain dump, like word vomit on me. So come DM me, and then I also have a free 5 tools to begin improving your money mindset download. It's like, get ready to print it off and get real. It's not just like, here's 1 tool, 2 tool, you dive in. So you can get that over at thetaylorssimpson.com/money. And that will also give you a heads up when they go, wherever it is.
Yep, it's in the comments,
So you'll get a heads up because on November 12th, the Money Mindset Masterclass opens on November 12th. So if you get that freebie, you'll be the first to be notified when that masterclass opens. It's just going to be so fucking epic. And I have the Confidence Academy. I do one-on-one life and business coaching. So it's like, it's whatever's holding you back, just let me know. And I can get you on a path of making sure that's no longer a block.
Oh my gosh. Taylor Simpson, you are a freaking powerhouse. Thanks so much for coming on. This hour like flew by. I love the questions.
Oh my
gosh. Your energy is so much fun, and thank you for who you are. Just like no BS, real, authentic, and direct to the point, and also with so much love and compassion for people and who they are and where they're at and what they've gone through, because you were once there. And I really see that you see that journey, that progression, and you have that grace for people wherever they're at along the journey. So everyone who's listening, I definitely recommend you stay connected with Taylor, have a conversation with her, see what's the next step for you so that you can keep growing into your greatest possible self. Maybe it's the money, maybe it's the confidence, maybe it's the business, whatever that is, Taylor can help you get there. So Taylor, thanks so much for coming on today. You're a superstar, and we'll see you again soon, okay?
Thank you, Chris, so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Have the best day ever.
All right, bye.